Good evening and welcome to the weekend. I'm Gemini and this is Now We're Talking, the show that takes a look at and discusses all the trending malarkey online at the moment. Although we're not live, you can still get in touch with us. You can send us a tweet at Now That's Talk, send us a text on 07548 200 007, or give us a like, a comment, or a message on our Facebook page, Now We're Talking. Joining me again on the NWT sofa today are my own daughter, Fräulein 39, and also mother and daughter pair, Lucy and Cleo Lush. Lovely to see you all
darling.
It took us. It's like the day after.
I'm lovely. Is this a demi-wave or have you taken a Viagra? It's gone the wrong way.
I have. I've been to barbers.
You have, yeah.
To barbers, and I just said, have you any perm solution? He said, I have. I said, well, get some on here and stick some rollers in while you're at it.
I'm just thinking.
Do you like?
No, it's Liz McDonald. I mean, honestly.
Someone said that on mine to me, Liz.
Yeah.
Now, what I've gone for more really is Taylor Dane.
I think you should be dreaming. I think that's just dream.
You know
what
I mean?
She's giving me Taylor Dane. I'm getting it, Mama. I'm getting it.
Anyway, cheers, everybody. Manchester Pride starts on Friday.
Friday,
yes.
It's going to be a fabulous event. But for those of you that haven't got a wristband and maybe you can't afford one, Manchester Pride has announced a programme of free events over the big weekend. Yeah, organisers of the annual LGBT festival will be running a parallel Superbia weekend at the former Corner House over the bank holiday weekend from August 26th to the 28th, and this involves film screenings, live music, comedy, cabaret will all be hosted in the building now known as 70 Oxford Street. Strangely, its address. In partnership with Manchester Metropolitan University, the events are all free and open to people with or without tickets to the big weekend. So I kind of love this.
Yes.
I think this is massively important. The full Superbia weekend programme, and what I'm going to do when I post the links to these shows on our Now We're Talking page on Monday, I'll add the link to this. But for now, if you've got a pen and paper handy, I'm going to read out some bits of the full Superbia weekend programme. Friday the August the 26th, 6 p.m. until 10 p.m, the Superbia weekend launch, with welcome speeches and live music from the Sunday Boys and Husk, our own Husk, who's sat there on this. I love Husk. He's
lovely Husk.
I said on Radio last week, I kind of feel like he's my son. Do you know how you kind of spiritually adopt people?
That's quite weird.
Really?
Yeah, Husk is my son.
There must be a brother.
Husk is your
First I've heard of it.
stepbrother. You'll meet him one day. Followed by a 1-hour cinema screening of specially selected LGBT short films presented by Queer Media. That's on the Friday. On Saturday the 27th, 11 a.m, there's a pre-Pride parade meetup at the cafe, which is opening to the public, providing a great location to meet up before the parade. Swing by, grab a coffee and check out the weekend programme of events. There's a post-Pride party, arty party after the parade is over. People are invited to keep hold of their flags, banners, ribbons, flyers, whistles and drag queens and join artist Nicola Dale for a group project to help turn their parade souvenirs into a giant work of art.
That's a brilliant
fabulous.
idea.
That's beautiful.
Fantastic.
At 4 p.m. on Saturday, author Gregory Woods, in conversation with Dr. Andrew Moore, renowned poet and academic. Gregory Woods discusses his poetry and his new book, Homintern: How Gay Culture Liberated the Modern World. 5:30 on Saturday, panel event, Islam, Gender and Sexuality. That's going to be really interesting.
That's very
Are you going
interesting.
down there for that, Gemini?
I think I will actually. I think I'm probably going to. I want to go and see Husk at Superbia because I love Husk. I think he's
Maybe us all
amazing.
girls should go together.
I think we should.
Most definitely.
As we are now, not
Maybe.
Why not?
Well, it's rude not to get your rollers out twice a year and
definitely.
at least.
It's a
And buy not
constant
most
thing
of
for
pride,
me.
you know.
I have a blood relative to meet, apparently, anyway.
Can I carry on talking? or
Sorry.
Is it all about you?
Sorry, Mum.
Yeah, it's about us.
Just wondered. Academic Layla Jagiela and Samia Rahman of the Muslim Institute will discuss LGBT issues from a Muslim perspective. 7 p.m, a film screening oriented a documentary on the lives of 3 gay Palestinian best friends. That'd probably kill me.
Should we go to that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to. And that's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Oh, sorry, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. is Superbia Cabaret, an evening of cabaret, open mic.
Oh, fabulous. We should do
You
it.
should do it, girl.
What day's
Do
that?
it. Open mic.
Open mic for us lot.
What day is
For
that?
free?
That's on the that's
For
on Saturday,
free?
7
On
till
the
10 p.m.
That's a
Yeah.
must.
Open mic.
Yeah.
And comedy starring Kate O'Donnell. Love Kate O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Kate O'Donnell's
Fabulous,
amazing. Yeah.
beautiful Manchester trans woman. She's incredible. The Addictive Comedy Crew and more. At 8 p.m, there's a presentation, Queer Noise, the hidden history of LGBT music in Manchester. And historian and archivist Abigail Ward takes audiences on a journey through Manchester's nightlife past. Nearly finished, don't worry. Sunday, August the 28th, 11:30am, there's a presentation, Out! Manchester Pride's LGBT history website. Abigail Ward is going to explore Manchester Pride's new digital resource documenting LGBT Manchester history. 12 p.m, panel event, LGBT people, recovery and sobriety. I'm so glad they're doing something focused on recovery with specifically LGBT people.
Yes.
That's massively important. As I say, I'm going to post this article, which is from the Manchester Evening News and outlines everything that's going on at 70 Oxford Road.
70 Oxford Road.
Which was the former and fabulous corner house. And all of this stuff is free. You don't need an armband or anything, but do chuck £1 in a bucket because there are people out there that need it. So yeah, I mean, isn't it good that there is this? Because of course there has been controversy about Manchester Pride, about the fact that some people can't afford to go, and of course if you don't have an armband, you are locked out of the gay scene.
Yeah, it's something you go to all year round, and I think that's the. And one of my biggest annoyance for a lot of years has been, mainly because I have 2 friends that their son died of AIDS 20 years ago. They give money to various charities every single month for AIDS and HIV, and the only they're older people now. They don't want to do the Pride event, but they wanted to go to the vigil, right? Literally just to pay respects to their son that they lost, and they were refused at the gate to go in. They don't want to go and get drunk in a pub. They don't want to go off and go and party and go and watch an event. All they want to do is go in and light a candle. And I think this is what Manchester Pride has to realise, right? Do not turn people away on that Monday night, right? There is nothing left to go on. There is a couple of hours left of the event. They should not have to go away and pay £25 for a ticket to go and light a candle. To go and light a candle for a person, whether it's a son, daughter, husband, partner, mother, uncle, auntie, whatever, that they've lost. Right?
Absolutely.
That is what's important. That event is important. It's what the whole Pride event is about. All right?
We're going to take a very
Lucy.
short break now, but please do join it. Join it. Yeah, join it. Right after it for a lot more. Please stay with us.
You just call me It.
Welcome back to Now We're Talking with me, Gemini, my fabulous guest, Fräulein 39, my very own daughter, Lucy Lush and Cleo Lush. We've had
Lust.
Sorry,
That's her name. That's what it is.
The Taurus.
You were saying before the break about your friends that had kind of been turned away, and I have to say that 3 years ago, I think, after we'd done Essex, we did a wonderful tour. Pink Triangle Theatre did a wonderful tour of primary schools in Essex. Kids were amazing, weren't they?
Wonderful.
They loved the shows. They got exactly what they needed from them. And we decided we were going to go to the vigil that year, and they kept us waiting at the security gate until 1 minute before it started. 1 minute before it started, there were people kicking off and we just kind of stood back and said, look, we are Pink Triangle Theatre, sorry we haven't got bands, we've been very busy working in schools and stuff, tackling homophobia. We'd really like to go in and light a candle and just, you know,
remember people that need to be remembered.
1 minute before.
I find it despicable, I really do. But my two friends, that they, ever since they lost their son, they give to several AIDS and HIV charities. They have money coming out of their account once a month, every single month, without fail. And it isn't pennies these people give, they're very wealthy.
Yeah.
Right? And the fact that they couldn't go, I don't think I've ever seen two people in my life as upset as they were. They were bawling, and I will say, this insignificant Queen with a clipboard standing there with his hives. The abuse that he gave to them was diabolical, absolutely diabolical. They don't deserve that. They are going to pay respects to their child.
Think it was only
That is it.
years
We
ago
do
that
have
they stop the
to.
charge.
Can we just say though, because we've got to make a point of saying, yes, there are some people who are
Queen and clipboard syndrome.
Jobsworths, but they're not all like that.
They're not all, no.
And thankfully, most of Manchester Pride, I think, is staffed by people with good hearts, intelligent minds, and warm personalities. But you do come across them.
That particular time, it was
awful.
and they don't come along now to the vigil anymore because of
You
that.
said it again.
Because vigil.
Bang you into our
Vigil. No, sorry, but no, but it's kind of.
I love you.
But the fact is they don't come along anymore. They go on the night that it happens. They go to their local church and light a candle because they don't want to come along here now and suffer that abuse anymore. And that I find disgusting.
Who can blame them?
Yeah,
Who can blame them?
Yeah, exactly.
And it is a real shame.
I think a couple of years ago they did stop the gate opens on a Monday night at, I think, an hour before the vigil now, which is a good thing to see and
definitely,
and be able to get there.
I mean, I'm a massive supporter of Manchester Pride. I really am. But I've never been a supporter of closing off our gay scene and having to pay to get into it.
So I think
You
I've
never
been a
used
fan of
to.
that.
You never used to.
I know.
Back in the day, it was started off.
Pride was free.
Well, no, it was
Yeah.
started off basically outside the Union and places like that, bring and buy sales, all sorts like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
And they
likes
still
of
made money for charities,
Yeah,
didn't
definitely.
they?
But our Dame Gracie, who is still alive and kicking, the wonderful Dame Gracie, and Fufu was a big supporter of it in the day.
Yes.
You know,
Good old
all sorts.
Auntie
You know,
Fufu.
Diamond Lil, Bunny Lewis. You know, I mean, our Terry Fox, Terry Fox that's still, that really is one of the grand dams of drag, is our Terry Fox. You know, so, and they were all big advocate supporters for Pride and for raising money for AIDS and HIV.
And they still
back in
are.
then, and they still are. But the fact
when
is,
they
it
came
wasn't.
along.
It wasn't a payable event then. They raised money from buckets. Now they're not allowed to have buckets. That's another story. You know.
I think they are the registered charity.
Not allowed to shake them.
Are you girls attending Pride this year?
I will be. I will be, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's my first weekend out.
I will be.
don't know what.
I'll be there the Friday, the Saturday, and the Monday because I'm off to Chesterfield on the.
Oh, you do. You're DJing
in Chesterfield, so on the Sunday. So I'm off there doing the Crooked
I
Spire.
would say I've had a few inquiries because I do my DJing as well. I've had a few inquiries, so maybe about during Friday. I don't know yet. We'll see. It's not confirmed at the moment, so I can't say anything at the moment.
Do you know what I've realised as well? I've not brought Paul's little soundbox in.
Oh.
And he said to me, use it on show.
Yeah? I saw it on the sideboard this morning.
I told him to have a rest.
How is he?
He's all right. He's all right. I mean, when I'm around, I take it out of him, and it has to be said.
Yeah.
You know, I really do take it out of him.
Well, I believe.
You wouldn't rag it then, do you?
I believe he ate a vegan burger, and it went the wrong way, and he slightly choked a little bit. So he did complain that vegan burger he doesn't think was as vegan as it should have been.
Yeah. So it's got
Sounds legitimate.
Yeah.
He's got
legitimate,
a chafed larynx.
Right.
Well,
is that veganish larynx?
There is not as bad as a chafed larynx.
There's not.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell
There's
you.
a chafed eel. A
You tell
platform
each other.
shoe, but there's nothing.
Have a chafed deal now.
Fruit.
Right, girls.
What's your opinion of pride? Because I'm 47, as your mama. I saw them birthed, and I've watched them grow. They've always been a part of your
Sort of experience,
conscious
as
life,
it were.
haven't
Yeah.
they? Really.
Yeah.
So does your opinion differ of them? Like we three queens, who were all a bit older than you, see.
Not that much.
Cheek.
You are. How old are you?
Old love. 23.
Just a recycled teenager.
How old
just
are you,
that.
love?
23.
I'm a recycled teenager.
How old are you?
I'm a recycled teenager.
Tell the truth, your people are
98.
gorgeous. You can be in your 40s.
98, love.
I'm 45 years old, man.
There you go, and she looks beautiful, doesn't she? And I'm 47. I know. Shot every time I
I'm
look around,
37.
I'm like, you what?
No,
It's a
I'm not
joke,
thinking.
that.
Sister.
And I'm 16, so
What did you say? 60.
16, you reckon?
16.
How old are
Yeah.
you, Cleo Lush?
37.
37. See, so you're nearly.
I'm not actually
But I'm not-
16.
See, she has
So,
been very, very
Prue,
young.
how
so-
do you feel about prides?
Do you know what I really like? I will say this. I love small prides.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you and I know we've worked like Oldham
Oldham
Pride
Pride.
and
Worked
been
Oldham
to
Pride as well,
yeah,
loved it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you
Worked
know
in
what's
Oldham
so
Pride.
lovely about them? They're such a cohesive event for the whole local community.
And it's family.
It's family,
More
you've
the
got
family
children there,
thing.
you've got acts on, you've got all your stalls and everything like that, but it really feels like a community event.
Yeah.
And I really love that. And anybody can just wander up,
Yeah.
We've not ever experienced any trouble there or anything,
Never.
have we? It's just been a really nice
I
time.
must say that when I performed at Oldham Pride a few years ago, I just found it one of the most beautiful events.
2012, I think it was.
It was 2012, yeah, I think it was 2012. Yeah. And it really was. Everyone embraced, and I don't think I found any bit of homophobia
No.
in any way, shape, or form from any person. And I think it's good that the small little towns now are having prides.
And the mainly free pride.
Yeah.
Is a wonderful thing.
But I think
Well, it's put money in a bucket.
It should go back to the way it should be.
I
Just
agree.
Put a donation in the bucket as you come in. You don't have to.
But that's never going to happen. But
Manchester Pride have got that big now that they don't want that. They want us to pay for a ticket. They want us to.
Yeah, and
there's sort of two sides to it, isn't there? There's
Yeah.
the commercial side, and then
Yeah.
there's the side where
And
people are
it's
trying to
too
still
much to
push
get
what
into.
Pride is
Right,
actually about.
charity. That's
Yes.
what we need to remember.
oh, I do have to say here as well that I did contact the Manchester Pride office a couple of weeks ago actually, and asked if somebody could come along and talk about Manchester Pride and what was going on. And there's been a lot of back and forth, but unfortunately it got to the point where it was today, and I was finishing producing the show, and I couldn't I'd not heard anything, but I think that's a real shame, because I think that they should.
Yeah, it would have been lovely.
supportive.
Maybe it
would have been.
Manchester Pride, and I think
Yeah.
if you just maybe spoke to Tony would have come, because he's a big supporter of Manchester Pride as well. He does a lot for Manchester Pride, like he does for Sparkle.
We're going to have a very, very, very short break now, but we will be back for lots more, so please stay with us, four queens, would you? Welcome back to Now We're Talking with me, Gemini, and my guests, my gorgeous daughter, Fräulein 39,
Hey.
Lucy Lush, and Cleo Lush. We're all here together, chit-chatting about pride, really.
Pride, dear,
and
pride,
our
yeah.
own pride.
And of course we are.
Somebody said to me once, are you proud? Somebody asked me once.
I'm very proud.
It's about me. Let me talk for a second, woman.
It's all about you, isn't it?
Goodness
Leave me,
me.
mama alone.
Do you know what? Sit back and let everyone talk. Just let me have my words, yeah? No, seriously. Somebody said to me once, are you proud of being gay? And I said, no. Not in the least little bit. Why would I be proud of my sexuality? I'm proud of being me. I'm proud of being Gemini. I'm proud of Paul. But I'm not proud of being gay.
Are you proud of me, Mama?
Ah, so proud of you, honey.
Thanks, baby.
Even though you tore me from my Vita Maya, but still I'm proud. Oh, she hurt when she came out. She's a big girl. Like a rugby ball. Like
No,
4 rugby balls
it's
stuck
all
together. And you still got those hips, honey?
She has, definitely.
Chips don't lie,
Haven't
that's
you?
all I'm saying.
Now, if the gallery could just confirm to me that we've got a few pictures set up for this bit. I would like to start with Dominic Crouch, if that's okay. So, homophobia doesn't just affect gay people. Dominic Crouch was a 15-year-old boy from Gloucestershire, and he went on a school trip, and he had a game of dare on this school trip, and there was a kiss, I think, with this other boy, and the other boy, nothing was said to him at all. Dominic was homophobically abused from that point forward. He was shoulder barged in the corridors. He was hurt. All his friends were saying to each other, Dominic's gay, kissed a guy. Dominic was actually straight, like 100% straight, 15-year-old boy. He reported the fact that he felt he was being picked on to his school, and as his mother and father, Paolo and Roger, would tell you, or would have told you, nothing was done at all. So Dominic left his school and he went to the top of a 6-story block of apartments, and he sent 3 texts to 999. But unless you're an official registered deaf user, texts to 999 don't get through. Only calls do. Dominic thought that his pleas for help were falling on deaf ears, and he threw himself off the 6-story block of flats, and he died instantly. I became very good friends with his dad, Roger Crouch, who started a Facebook page called Friends of Dominic Crouch Against Bullying. And Roger was incredible, just an incredible guy, a real force to be reckoned with. He did the rounds on TV, and he was very supportive of anything that tackled homophobia. He won a Stonewall award for being a legend, basically, and for his battle against homophobia. In November 2011, Paolo found Roger hanging in the garage. He'd taken his own life because he couldn't live without his son. So that is a heterosexual father and son, both lives taken by homophobia. And this is the thing, guys, it's not just our problem, it's yours as well. If you hear somebody saying something negative to a gay person, please stand up and say something. Please say something. Please. Because I can't handle the fact that somebody like 15-year-old Dominic Crouch, who could have been married and had children, is dead. Because he had a game of dare on a school trip. So please, everybody, Fight against this hate. Nobody needs it. Ever. Oh, thank you, girls, for holding on to me then. That story kills me. Still to this day. Mm-hmm. And the next one's even worse, unfortunately.
It really is a moving, incredible story, and unfortunately, homophobia still exists in schools,
And not even always to gay people.
Yeah, definitely. And you know that
It affects everybody.
Well, no, I will say that when I was at school, I got my abundance of hassle that I got, but there was a friend of mine that was overtly feminine, and he was totally heterosexual, but he was effeminate. He loved women, full stop, you know, girls, full stop. But he was effeminate, he was born effeminate, but was totally and utterly straight. So, and the hassle he got and I got, they used to accuse us of wanting to get off with each other all the time, and they'd do us over in gangs, you know, in their vile gangs.
Friends.
Yeah, because, and
It's a way to celebrate friendship, isn't it?
yeah, well, definitely. And the fact is, he is now happily married. He is now happily married. He has 4 children, who one of his children has turned out to be gay, and he was happy as anything. He says, I've got a daughter and I've got 3 sons. He says, for me, I have everything. That is it. He says,
Are you still friends?
I'm still friends, yeah. Brilliant. He says, I will never be homophobic to anybody, and he still is very effeminate now. You know, he's now the same age as me, and he's still very effeminate, but he's totally straight. That is it.
Tell this last story, Lucy. Gallery, if you could show the picture of Gisberta, please. This was always the most difficult story for me to tell during our Pink Triangle Theatre performances, and even more so because I've been to Portugal, and I wasn't that far away from where this happened. But Gisberta, do we have a picture up, guys? Because I can't see. Yeah. Gisberta was a beautiful transgender woman from Portugal. She'd fallen on hard times, and unfortunately she'd found herself homeless, and she'd taken up residence on a building site. 14 young boys between the ages of 10 and 16 from a local orphanage which happened to be run by the Catholic Church went to this building site where they knew Gisberta was staying. These are children, don't forget, between the ages of 10 and 16. They beat her severely, burned her all over her body with cigarettes, hog-tied her, sexually assaulted her with branches and bottles, and they did so for 3 days. Consecutively. They left her alone at night and went back the next day and did it again. And because they were children, none of them were charged. But Gisberta's body was found in a 10-foot pit on the building site 3 days after 3 days of torture at the hands of children. And the post-mortem found that she had mud in her lungs. So even after being thrown into the 10-foot pit after 3 days of torture at the hands of children, Gisberta was still alive. This is why we have pride festivals. It isn't about shoving our lifestyles in your face. It's about saying, you have no right to beat us. You have no right to take our lives. We're here. Please, just love us for being us. While I recover, we're going to take a very, very short break now. Please join us right after. Well, we've had to come outside, girls, haven't we? In the daylight, which drag queens are not that keen on, let me tell you. We've had to come outside because there are gremlins in the studio. But we did have a couple of very important videos that I wanted to share at the end of this segment of the show. So first off, we've got a fabulous poem recited by a young man called Shane, a young trans man who I met in London a few years ago. He contacted me on Facebook just last night and said, look, I've got this poem, and I said, read it out, get it on a video, and he did that. So we're going to watch that right now.
Hey all, my name's Shane. I'm just going to read my poem out, which I wrote a couple of months ago, what it was like for me to be trans and how I'm dealing and how I dealt with things. So it's called Proud Person. So yeah, I'm just going to read it and then hopefully you like it. Proud young person out loud, a boy with a secret within the family, being outside of the real world. People seeing a young lad not knowing I have to take testosterone to be myself, having to hide, knowing what I have to hide within myself, knowing I have to turn the lights off 24/7 to get dressed and undressed. When having a shower or bath, I have to wear swim shorts and vest, having to wear a binder to bed, knowing I can't look in the mirror without a top on. Getting called a different name and different pronouns that don't fit you. Every day putting a mask on when you open your front door. As soon as the key goes in, you step in and take the first step. You should feel safe, right? Well, with me it's different. I feel safe as soon as I enter the real world.
Hello and welcome back to what will now be the final part of the 2 pre-Pride specials of Now We're Talking for, of course, Manchester Pride, which starts next Friday. I hope you enjoyed the poem from Shane, and thank you, Shane, for sending that to us. That was really heartfelt and lovely, and we really enjoyed it. And we're going to end the show today, after all of these tributes, with a fantastic video from Mike Stock Music and Nikki French, This Love. Please watch the video. Listen to the lyrics of the song, which is beautiful. Enjoy, and I'll see you next week. Well, Paul will see you next week. Until then, please be excellent to each other.
We can swear it now, change the future from today. And it's in our hands, we can make a plan and honor every word we say. Yes, we've got the choice, say it as one voice, together side by side, with an open heart, never drift apart, solid as a rock in time. What we say now, we really mean, and like a time machine, we'll see the whole world crumble. We're gonna see the mountains tumble before we say goodbye, my love and I. see the earth dividing. We'll see the sun and moon colliding before this love would ever die. Before this love would ever die.
The girls have all been sent home now. They were naughty, loud, boisterous, and they ended up tipsy. And all of that is and was just fabulous. So why the change? What the heck am I doing back here, ending our pre-Manchester Pride drag queen specials? Well, I shall tell you why. I wanted to explain to you all why I had first wanted to do these two shows a few days before one of Manchester's biggest and most diverse festivals, with a sofa full of drag queens. You see, in the 50s and the 60s in America, despite lobby groups fighting for equality, homosexuality was simply not accepted. It was frowned upon, ignored, mocked. The only real places publicly that LGBT people could meet and find solace in each other was in some bars which catered specifically to and were known to be popular among the poorest and most marginalised people in the gay community. Drag queens, transgender people, effeminate young men, butch lesbians, male prostitutes and homeless youth, as they were all labelled at the time. Police raids on gay bars were routine in the 1960s, and one particular bar, known as the Stonewall Inn, was raided as often as any other, perhaps a little more. The bar was owned by the mafia, and it's known that the owners had to pay the police often or get raided more. One particular raid in the very early hours of June the 28th, 1969, took a different turn that night. There was an LGBT uprising. The waters of acceptance for ill treatment had boiled dry, and the patrons of that bar on that night were not going to take it anymore. Enough was enough. Officers quickly lost control of the situation at the Stonewall Inn. They attracted a crowd that was incited to riot. Tensions between New York City police and gay residents of Greenwich Village erupted into more protests the next evening, and again several nights later. At the front lines, whilst being beaten and taunted, were the drag queens. They lined up across the street and sang to the police while the violence erupted around them. Within weeks, village residents quickly organised into activist groups to concentrate efforts on establishing places for gays and lesbians to be open about their sexual orientation without fear of being arrested. After the Stonewall riots, gays and lesbians in New York City faced gender, race, class and generational obstacles to becoming a cohesive community. Within 6 months, 2 gay activist organisations were formed in New York, concentrating on confrontational tactics, and 3 newspapers were established to promote rights for gays and lesbians. Within a few years, gay rights organisations were founded across the US and the world. On June the 28th, 1970, the first Gay Pride March took place in New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco and Chicago, commemorating the anniversary of the riots. Similar marches were organised in other cities, and today gay pride events are held annually throughout the world, often toward the end of June to mark the Stonewall riots. The Stonewall National Monument was established at the site this year, 2016, by Barack Obama. So our shows these last 2 days with our fabulous guests in full drag have been a tribute to those queens who stood outside that bar in full drag one late June night in 1969 and sang their hearts out for peace and, above all, acceptance. There are some brilliant Stonewall movies out there, and if you intend to watch one, I personally highly recommend the 1995 movie. It is absolutely, completely amazing. It's brilliant. Don't forget to visit Sackville Park as well here in Manchester, because it's the home of many wonderful little tributes and statues, and you'll find them all just from popping your head in there and having a good look around. The Beacon of Hope, the Trans Memorial statue, which there's a lot in there, so please enjoy all of that. I want to thank all of my guests for these shows. They have been utterly amazing. I want to thank all of you for watching them. If you're taking part in Pride, have a wonderful time, and as always, please be excellent to each other.